Hey, hi everyone, welcome back. In the last episode, we refactored the player dashboard and we changed a couple of approaches that we used to take in registering the players. And now, in this episode, we need to tweak some things on the admin side in order to approve the players. So, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what's the admin view right now. And let me just log in. And now if you go under players, yeah, because we changed a couple of fields, we also need to approve and manage the players who are signing up. So once the player signs up, they will be unapproved by default, but then the admins can approve them to be a member of the club. So let's just go ahead and fix these first. So let's go into the players, and now if you remember, the name and other details of the users come from the relationship. So let's go into app filament player, sorry, these are under the resources. We should come out of players, tables, player table, and now all these details, even including the email, come from the player. And actually we could just do this user dot, and let's quickly go into the player model and make sure that we have our users relationship, and we do refresh. Okay, I think we only have the full name, we don't have the first and last name, so we should tweak so we can get rid of these two. And this is only called name. There we go. And now remember, under players, if we have the is approved column, so we could show that as well. For that, we could do a icon column and make sure this is approved. And now we can see all the approved and non-approved players. And at the same time, we also need to tweak the schemas for this. So come to player form, and we can do this, but we don't need to save this. So in order to disable that, we could do this. I feel like this is going to work, but let's just give it a shot. And then we need some sort of a toggle, and we can make the default as false. And then let's go ahead and try this. So if I do edit, okay, I think it should come from a relationship. So we could do a section make the player, this under the schema, relationship is user. And can we do a, yeah, I think we can do the dehydrated false directly on the section. And the email also is under here. You need to do that here. Let's see. Okay, so we do get the details. To make these disabled, so do that. I wonder if disabled also means dehydrated. We could try that first. So okay, so now this is disabled, and I say this person is approved. Save. Okay, this is a player 2, and it works. Yeah, so I think when you set something as disabled, it automatically means that do not dehydrate that. And what dehydrate does is, let's quickly go into the filament documentation, and if you come here and search for dehydrate, okay, so dehydration is a process that gets data from the fields in your schemas, optionally transforms it and returns it. It returns when you call the schemas get state, which usually is called when a form is submitted. You may customize how the state is transformed when it's dehydrated. You may also prevent a field from being dehydrated altogether. Yeah, so I think when you select when you say it's dehydrated, what happens is it automatically is not sent back to the backend to save in the database, which means it's only available for the visual part of it. I think if I do disabled, ensure the disabled is called before the relationship. This ensures the dehydrated call from the relationship is not overridden. Oh, so essentially they're saying that you need to follow this, but I believe if I do that, let's see what happens. So if I uncheck that, save it. Okay, so it does work. Interesting. So it works in a similar way, but it's to make sure that any call to the dehydrated from within the relationship is not overridden. So yeah, I like to follow the documentation as much as possible. So anyways, we could make this a little bit better. And columns. Okay, awesome. And remember, this also needs to happen in the info list. And we could move all these out of the section. This needs a relationship of user. We don't have first and last name, we only have full name. It's called name. There we go. Awesome. So now another thing that we could do here is for admins to give a filter to filter out the approved and the non-approved members. So we go to the table, the players table, add a filter. This should be a ternary filter, make is approved, change the label to approved and see if this works. So we have yes, apply, and it only gives us the approved. If I say no, it only gives me the not approved, and if I go back, it gives me everybody. That's perfect. But along with that, I think we could also do something like this. So if you come under to resources, listing records, there's something called as tabs, and what these do is they give you the tab over here in order to say in order to add your filters. So how do we do that? Basically you can just copy this part and come to your resources. So this is the player that we the resource that we want to inject into. So we have players, and then we have the list page, and down here we could import. So all will be all users, and we say approved and non-approved, or we could do pending. Awesome. So now let's import Eloquent Builder. Awesome. And now if I refresh, okay, so we have the tabs here, and if I say, it essentially does the same thing as the filter does. So it only filters out the approved, and the pending does the pending. But the good thing about this is we can also add I think they're called badges. Yeah, so we could add badges to tell how many number of pending and approved users are there. So let's just go to the end of these, add that, and we say player where is approved is true, and then player where is approved is false. So now that gives us the count. So we have 51 non-approved pending players, we have 54 approved users, and this is our all users. Awesome. There's a couple of more things that you could do. I think you can change the color of the badges, so could do that. So let's go here, and this would be success, and this one is warning. That's fine. That's perfect. So now it's easier for the admins to just come in here and say, oh, this guy is pending. I come in here, I approve, save, and now the count changes. That's the whole workflow for the admins. Next, so we have completed basically the player side and the admin side. How about we kind of take a look at the main page? So if you go into announcements, I think did not see, so let's go ahead and do PHP artisan migrate fresh and seed. Now we have announcements, we have upcoming games, and this default takes me to the player, which is good. And we update the details. And manually mark this player is approved. Now they see the upcoming pages, they sign up. Awesome. That's perfect. And I don't think we need this here now, so we can go into the player registration page. No, I think it's the upcoming games page. Yeah, so we don't need this anymore. Perfect. And that's perfect. So we also kept our dashboard clean, and there are a couple of things more we could do we could do with this app. One is the email reminders to all the players before a game starts, maybe early morning on the day of the game, in order to remind them that hey, there's a game today and you have signed up, so and so. uh, and in order to tackle that, what we could do is we need a job. So we do php artisan make job, and we could call it email reminder. Well, we could do reminder of what we should call it. What should we call it? Player reminder job. And for this we also need some sort of notification. This would be player game reminder notification. Yes, we do need a markdown for this. Awesome. Okay, so now we have a job and we also have a notification. And we have this. Okay, too. So we're taking a couple of parameters here, but actually we can start building from the job. So in the job, the first thing that we need to do is we need to grab all the games which are due the next day, or maybe, well, which are due today, which are being played today. And then we also need the players who have registered for that game. So let's first go into the models and check the game. We have the players, and we could do another click function. We could do signed up players, and we do this as this players where well, I don't think we need this, so we could just do game players, and this should give us all the signed up players. Awesome. So let's just do this. So we do game where start at is equal to, well, equal to carbon date, carbon now, to get, and we should say with players let's think about this. So we do get a game. Actually, we need the players. So can we shift this logic? Can we shift this logic? I think we can. So a player many games, and well, let's take a look in Tinker. So I have a player. Let's pick a player. Let's pick 17, and we'll say with games. Unknown column games dot player ID. Interesting. So this relationship is not actually set up. So player and games is many to many. So let's go into Albertox 12.x eloquent relationships. Awesome. So it is many to many. So user belongs to many row. Okay, so a player belongs to many games. Change it. And the inverse of that why can't I find the inverse of this? However, you're free to override this convention. We don't want to override the convention. In addition to customize the name of the intermediate table, you may also customize the column names. We don't want to do that. Yeah, there it is. Inverse is the same as belongs to many. So oops, we go to game belongs to many. That's set up, so that's cool. And now let's try to tinker that again, and there it is. Okay, so right now the player 17 is signed up for one game, which is what we were expecting. How about we make another entry for, let's say, game 2, and try that. I get 2 games. Awesome. So essentially now what we're going to do is we need to get all the players who are approved, and where the game's start date is today. That's what we want. Okay, so now let's go back to our job and flip this. So we say player query, and we say where date start at is carbon now, and where is approved is true, and we get them. Now we need with games and where, oh, I think this should be here. Awesome. Let's actually check how many games we do have. Filter start at equals I think we need the date. Okay, so all the games are on that date. Let's tweak some. We say this was in the past, this was in the past. We do know that the player 17 has signed up for game ID 1 and game ID 2, so okay, so we still get 2, and to make sure that we did not miss anything, let's just change this to 1, which means it's in the past and we should not. Okay, so for some reason, because our condition for this was not applied. Well, I could do just dd here. And well, to test this, we'll just quickly add this to this console here. Command test job, and we say player reminder job dispatch sync. I think we could do find here for 17. I was confused why I was giving so many turns. So here, okay, right, so we have just one game. That's perfect. And to test that, we could do games and then count. It gives 2 games. Interesting. It shouldn't. Oh, I think it gave 2 because I called the relationship and then did the count, so I think it converts that into a query. I wonder if I can do this. Yes, there we go. Because it's a collection, yeah, I can do it. Right now we got everything that we wanted. Now we need to actually send this notification. So we say notification. No, notification. Is that send? I'm sure that's not the correct. So I think it's, yeah, notification. Okay, so when I remember in Laravel you can send notifications even to somebody who's not an instance of a user model. So let's go into notifications here. Sending notifications, choosing notifications, specifying delivery channels, on demand. I think it's called on demand notification. There we go. So it's called notification route, and we want to use the mail, and we need the email, and the email is going to come from player user email, and it's notify, so it's notify new player game the notification, and let's just send the player. We need to accept the player, and in order to access this we also need to set it to the markdown. Okay, so now hi video player user and the name, this email is to notify you that you have an upcoming game, and we can do today, and we get to player game, and let's go title today at player game start at, and you could do format. Well, you could do much more things, like, you know, you could also do like diff for humans, so they know exactly how much time is remaining from the time that they got the email, but that doesn't, you know, we just want to display the data. So if I go in here, we have the start at and end at, and this should convert it into a Carbon instance, and we could do y-m-d hi. Let's see what else can we. Okay, so we need also the location at the and we could do the location is player game location, and now we could do like a link to a Google Maps using the latitude and longitude if they have it, but you know, that's not what we're going to do right now. think that's about it. And we could link this route, and we could do route artisan route list grep. I think I need the player. There we have it. Awesome. So now let's check. It is set to log. That's fine. I wonder if we can just run the job. In the notification. What do you mean? I must have forgotten something. Unexpected token. You guys might already know where I've done a mistake. Is it because of this here? Maybe we don't need this. Property title on null. So we are sending player. Let's try to dt dollar player and then game. Oh, I remember when we did the player get, there might be some players who have not signed up for any games. In those situations, we do not need them. So I think the width condition is not going to work here. And in that situation, we might want to use something like where relationship has. And I think it's here. Yeah, there it is. Where, and then we can do this where has and then add the constraints. So let's go back to our job, come back here and say where has. It's not an array, it's game, and the second parameter is a closure, and everything remains the same. So if I do dt yeah, we only get a couple of people. And before I do that, I want to set the model prevent lazy loading. App is local. Well, how do they do that in Laravel? I think they do the opposite condition of this. Yeah, let's just follow the Laravel standard. And now we can get rid of this and see if that works. I was kind of skeptical that the this warehouse kind of loads the relationship itself. I wonder, and should we do something like with games and then this? Oh, we also need the user. Interesting. Don't have the user with the player. Which means there are still players who are getting loaded, even if they do not have a game. Interesting. How do we solve that? I think the sweat kind of plays the bad boy here, because when you do with again, what's happening is it's loading all the games and it's losing the condition, whereas we could do something like load game. Oh, it's games. Shoot. Oh, interesting. We might have to take a look at this in the next episode, because I just realized a silly mistake I made. So, you know how we flipped the logic to get the players because we wanted to send emails to the players? The I think the first approach was better. The reason for that is we could do we could do like, because when we load the games with the condition and then load the players, we do make sure that we only get the players for that particular game. And when we are sending the emails to all the players, we already have access to the games. But when we take this approach, what happens is now we have loaded all the players, and yes, we are calling the conditions where the games is today. But what ended up happening was that it's kind of loading all the games, and because a player can have multiple games, it might overlap with some, because because, like, we have more than one games, we can't really list them. So we could, so let's take a dig at it. So now if I do games here, you can see that uh, lazy loading is disabled again. Interesting. Okay, so now we get the games. let's just try for user 17. And I get 2 games. Which I should not have. But as I said, the width condition is not getting applied for that. But it should technically apply it, right? It's so silly. I feel like I'm missing something important here. And something very, very silly. So I think if I do this function query and do that, let's see what happens. And this time I get just a 1. There it is. That was very silly on my end. Interesting. Okay, so now that we sorted that out, remember now the games is a collection and we can't do this. We'll have to loop over that you have upcoming games today. The details are okay. The details are as below. And now so we could do for each player games as game, and here we could do something like x mail panel alright, so here we could do game, and this is game title, and this would be location, game location, date, game start at, what else do we need? I think that's more plenty for now, at least. Now let's go. Okay, so the emails looks like are sent. Can come to storage logs, scroll all the way down, and we have our email. Okay, so subject, and now it says hi. Let's come to players. The number was 17. Banana, that's right. But you have upcoming games, the details are below. The game, location, and since she has only 1 game, we only showed her 1 card. That's perfect. And then now we could schedule this job, right? So and to test this, I think we can just do player game reminder job. That's perfect. And we could, like, do this as a schedule is also I think it's done using schedule. Yep. And then you can schedule a command or a job, or I think, yeah, there's a job, and you could do the cron style. Awesome. So that's about it for this video. Thank you everyone, thank you so much, thanks for sticking